Here's why the Eau de Ombre Leather is the best Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. I can't say let's talk about it because I already said here's why. So let's just go into the... Here we go. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. So today is another full review for Tom Ford's Eau de Ombre Leather. And to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't do a full review already. So I initially picked this one up. I think it was during the first, during the first release week, which by the way, I pick up usually every single new release. Sometimes I pay a little bit of a premium to get it across seas from France, like I did with the brand new Strawberry Eau Parfum.
He's spending a lot of money, a lot.
Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. If you look at some of the original fragrances and what I think is probably the best flanker, or was the best flanker, was the Parfum. What you end up with both of those fragrances is just this very straightforward, clear-cut, thick slab of leather scent profile. And that's quite literally all that I personally get. Now, needless to say, there's a lot more notes in it than just going to be that leather slab. But that's quite literally what it smells like to me. And it's pretty sexy, yes, but it's not necessarily 100% my vibe. And after some time, it can get relatively boring considering the fact that it's just straight up leather. Now, with that being said, in the original Eau de Toilette version, there might be a little bit of florals, jasmine, moderately there, or mildly there, I should say, in the opening of this cardamom style of spice. The Parfum version started to add something a little bit richer and really define itself in that thick slab of leather. And instead of using something like cedarwood, cardamom, it goes full out into cedarwood. And for me personally, I find that cardamom and cedarwood could be distant cousins because of the fact that cardamom in itself, although having some spice, has a bit of this cedarwood style of undertone. And so rather than going with something that's a little bit lighter and more diffusive, it went from something that was decent into something that was rich and definitive. And for me personally, that's my taste. And so I really started to enjoy the Parfum version, and I personally declared the Parfum the best one. Hear ye, hear ye. I declare Ombre Leather Parfum as the best one. Anyway, I wasn't really crazy about that scent profile to begin with because of the fact that I had more what seemed like interesting leather scents for me personally. And it suited a bit more of the personality of a person who wears maybe black long coats, a lot of black, leather jackets, and it quite literally smells or recreates the scent of new leather in a car. And a lot of you guys might be wondering, like, why would you want to smell like that? But believe it or not, it actually smells a lot better than that. It's not just like that, it's nuanced in a lot more aspects. Now, with that being said, when this one released, I wasn't that crazy about it. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, let's see what's gonna happen with this. It's an Eau de Toilette concentration. Really, we're in 2024 and we're going with Eau de Toilettes? Come on now. And so I didn't really want to pick this one up, but I ended up spending the money, picked it up from Sephora as soon as it was available. And I swear to God, I was astounded at what I found. And the scent profile was something that was reminiscent, very mildly, to the original Tom Ford Eau de Ombre Leather, but also reminiscent to a couple of other fragrances, which I like. So with that being said, the opening of this fragrance has something that's fresh, zingy. It's got this very interesting and contrasting zing and kick of ginger. It also increases some of the spice from that cedarwood while still maintaining some of those woody aspect that come from the undertones of that cardamom. And then it infuses it obviously with its signature, which is going to be the leather. So just considering the facts of those couple of notes at the top, we've already indicated like a fresher fragrance. And sure enough, it did start as something fresher. And it was relatively, I would say, refreshing because I didn't know where it was gonna go. As it started to dry down, I was getting something that was relatively vanillic. And I noticed the projection was crazy. It was crazy. And so 4 hours in, I was like, man, is this shit gone? And I walk out of the car and it's still like, mind you guys, it was probably like 45 degrees. And this was slapping. It was straight up slapping. And I ate my words because I thought that an Eau de Toilette concentration was gonna be just straight up trash in the performance department. And that's not the case, and I'll give you guys a little rundown at the end. So what this in fact ended up turning into was more of like this vanilla and suede. It had this fuzzy texture more than likely because of that ambro fix in combination with some of those additional spices. It also had a fresher aspect to it, which it's not necessarily a fresh scent, but it does have like this alluring, mysterious, but also slightly spiced and sexy vibe that was more towards the suede. After a lot of wearing, it's been a couple of months since I've been rocking this, I determined that number one, this is my favorite one. Number two, I would rate this one like a 10 out of 10. And number three, the concentration for this one is not indicative of it going to be weaker than the other ones. It lasted for a solid 7 to 10 hours. We're talking about an Eau de Toilette. And that's not always common, but considering the facts that it's got ambro fix and it's more than likely just dosed up in the synthetics like crazy, and it also also reminded me of a mashup of a couple of scents. And more so, actually not really a mashup, but rather a re-envisioned and imagined version of something like Baby Cat by Tom Ford. It's something that's lighter, it's something that's a little fresher, and it's something a lot more versatile than Baby Cat. So you guys, this is hands down. You know, Baby Cat goes for 450 bucks. It was extremely hyped and for very good reason. It's a really good scent profile, extremely rich. This is by Tom Ford, and it's a lot more of a diffusive, lighter, sparkling, and even spiced version of their Ombre Leather. Instead of it being a creamy and supple fatty leather, it's more towards the side of suede. And that's pretty much it, man. It's their take on a fresher, don't get it mistaken with a fresh, but a fresher, so a lighter leather scent that's more around suede and vanilla. It's that amber fix that really creates and enhances that fuzzy-like texture to it as well. And in my opinion, this is like Tom Ford's version of Baby Cat, and I'm not mad at it at all. Significantly different, would not be redundant, just giving you guys a little bit of an idea for those who can't sniff this. But fortunately, you can. Most of you guys can just walk into Sephora and get your nose on this and spray it on, and you'll be surprised at the performance because I sure as hell will. So today, if you ask me in 2025, if you're going for the best ombre leather, it would be this. It's a 10 out of 10. The others are like, I would say the Eau de Toilette is like a 7. The Parfum is like, for me, you guys, I mean, I'm not that crazy about leather. It's like a 7.8, but this is a freaking 10. So yeah, if you're looking for the one to grab, it's this. And it's very, very compliment worthy because it has a lot of points favoring its likelihood to get it. It's easy to like. It's very projecting. It's got interesting factors that are mass appealing, but also unique enough to justify the price tag. I highly recommend you guys check this one out, especially if you're looking at which one to grab. And if you're not a leather fan, that's just like straight up into leather, you should still check this one out because I'm not that crazy about leather, but this is fantastic. And I had to rectify it by making this video because of the fact that I never made a full review. So this would be the one I would personally recommend. I have both and I have all the flankers, but this is the one that I continue to reach for. I actually just rocked it today and I wore it to the gym. Sprayed it about 5-6 times and I was good the entire time. I could still smell it. I cooked up some burgers and here we are. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If I were to rock this one during the summertime, I would probably not spray it more than about 6 to 8 times. It's easy to wear. It's an eau de toilette at the end of the day. And during the wintertime, I'd go up to 10 to 12 sprays. And that's pretty much it. My name's Eve. Thank you for tuning back in AROMATIX, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.